Hello, everyone. Good morning from Tokyo or good evening from New York. Today, I have a great pleasure to speak with Gabi Lovve. Gabi, she's the Chief Industrial Organizer at Love Enterprise. Hi, how are you today? It's great to see you.
Thank you, Ed. Great to see you as well.
Thank you for being a new member of the personal branding community. And thank you for sharing something which is, I think, very, very critical nowadays, and that's a presentation about the love and relationship. So can you share a little bit more about how you come up with this topic? What is your background and how long have you been in this industry?
Sure. I have been in this industry for, I'd say, almost 20 years, but I didn't do a marriage and family counseling Master's of Arts degree until about 10 years ago. And then I did a Master's of Science in Industrial Organizational Psychology afterwards, and I start my doctorate finally to really be authentic to my Dr. Love brand next year. I've been a matchmaker in New York City, Miami, Los Angeles, and several other small cities for about 7 years, and also a love counsel. So I help people in their love lives in whatever manner that means they need. Sometimes people need a pick-me-up, just a little chat for 45 minutes, a little guidance. And I do anything from that to actually set people up on lunch or dinner dates.
Sounds amazing. And for today, for particular presentation, I mean, this is the first time that people will see you in our community. So what have you prepared for today?
Well, for today, I wanted to just do something of value to all people in understanding their love process when they meet someone, that they feel that excited feeling for a little bit more than just meeting a friend or a coworker. I wanted to kind of go and teach the process of what that is for all of us, to get to the ending, which would be the marriage or the fully committed relationship. I work with singles and married people, so I can help both, because the process of healthy heart and healthy loving is not any different whether you're single or whether you're married.
Sounds amazing. So I think you prepared some slides. So let me share the screen so people can see. Okay, so we can see your first slide, I think. So
great. I start off with just how I could put all of that into a label and into a topic for tonight. And it's how to monetize your heart fulfillment into higher amounts of value through all our relationships. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of how all our relationships, whether it's father-son, mother-daughter, father-daughter, co-worker, lover, at whatever level of commitment that is, all of our relationships are truly the soul to our fulfillment in our heart. And that's what I wanted to talk about. So I call it how to monetize your heart fulfillment into higher amounts of value through all our relationships, because they're all important. Now, I do focus on love relationships, but through my counsel, it comes in, oh, I'm having trouble with my aunts, I don't like my godmother, all of it comes into it. It's all interrelated, but I do tend to focus on the couple where sex and that other forms of intimacy in that realm end up evolving. So that's why I came up with, that's the point of this slide. Can we go on to the next one?
Yeah, we can.
This slide is all about you, Ed. You know, I love you, Ed, and I wanted to make it clear that this is a project between Dr. Love, myself, and you. We have united, and I just feel like you also really care about the entrepreneurs you work with, and I wanted to bring that sort of relationship into what I'm talking about, because that's a co-worker relationship, and all of us, you know, a co-working relationship can really affect our lives. I mean, how many people go to work every day and have a disconnect with their boss or a coworker, and they come home and it can affect their love lives, how they feel, that I didn't have a great day, they're not coming home all chippery. And so the point of me being on the first line and you on the second is to show that this is a unity. You know, we have a co-working unity, which is very important. You help me feel great most days, and I hope I make you feel great most days, and I hope that carries on energetically into you being with your wife and me being with my boyfriend. So that's why I wanted to honor you in the second slide.
Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you.
Moving on, I love this one. I called it the smorgasbord of all our valuable relationships. So all of us have, if we look at this variation of cappuccinos, which I love cappuccino, you know, they're all very different, but they're all in the same unit. And this is how I view our relationships. They're all very different. My relationships with my best girlfriends are very different than my relationship with you or my relationship with my boyfriend, but they're all on the same smorgasbord of what form me. And so there, that's what we have there. Here I talk about if we become the master of all our relationships, it increases the value. And I wanted to somehow bring money and love together because they're both two of the most important energies that all of us will experience in this lifetime. And I look at my heart as having a heart bank. And so some people can remove energy, money, whatever you want to call it, out of our hearts or out of our energy, right? And some people can increase it. So I put on here the lovers and the partners in one category. Our family has that power. Our friends have that power. And our coworkers have that power to either increase or decrease the heart value that we have in our heart, strength, monetization, whatever word we want to label it. All those people, lovers, partners, family, friends, coworkers, have the power to make us happy, to provide us with great company, to hold a special place in our psyche. They can be very important people in our lives and really are the most important people in our lives. And they have the power to give our lives more value. And I didn't put it there, but that also means less value. Some people that make us feel less in any way, shape, or form, we should probably get rid of them because they're not being valued to the monetization in our heart. let our relationships increase the value that we have in our fulfillment, banks, and shelves. They're very important. In fact, they are that important. It is very important that we choose and keep those of value in our lives closer to us. And the people that cause us stress, just cause us dissonance, constantly cause us to feel down, we probably need to get rid of them. I'm not saying that love relationships mostly, or some coworker relationships, or definitely family, are just a mess at times. And we can't just get rid of them, and we shouldn't. So the important thing is to be able to judge when it's time to actually get rid of some of our relationships. But more than likely, if at one point we've chosen to take someone on as a friend, as a coworker, we can't choose our family, but as a lover or a partner, more than likely there is value there that we need to be able to distinct and master how to get it back to that first point where we chose to bring them on. And that's part of what my work does. I help people understand why they took them on, and then figure out how to keep them on, because most relationships I find are not worth letting go of, because at one point you were wise enough to choose to bring it in, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start venturing a little bit more now into my personal work, which is in dating, choosing, figuring out where to find, keeping, and then evolving from a special connection in a love or a dating relationship. And I love this picture because I think these two figured it out quite well. They are enjoying and smiling and being fulfilled by each other. The stages of relationship value increase through a certain progress, and this is partially what I wanted to teach people. There is a progress, and all of us at all times in our love lives are in one of these 5 progressions. Either we're in the meeting progression, where we're just going out, meeting a friend or a matchmaker is introducing you to someone. And then we go into, hey, you're kind of special. And this can happen in work as well, or even a family member you reconnect with. Hey, I'm feeling more special with you tonight at Aunt Bertha's wedding party. You know, becomes after a meeting, because most people just meet. But if you get into that special, hey, you're a little bit more interesting or special, whatever it is, the feeling you're having towards somebody, that's the second stage of a relationship progression that could very much fulfill you. If that special unity gets, I guess, very special, then sex might be what happens next in a relationship that might lead to marriage or to a committed relationship. Sex definitely is there. Now, some people are less sexual than others. They can have sex once or twice a month, once or twice a year, and be happy. And then I have a whole level of sexuality, the middle stage of sexuality to the high libido, very sexual person. But that comes in, we could do another presentation on that another day.
Sure.
Yeah, if 2 people do engage in sex, the natural step is for them to evolve into an intertwinement of their mind, their bodies, their heart energies, and then common goals and practicalities. You know, a lot of people end at the sex stage if they get there. And that's where there's a lot of broken hearts or confusion. And I work a lot with that. But when people get past that, they can, then it goes into a larger evolution of human coagulation per se. Past that, they get into the final stage of relationship staging, which is forming a solid commitment, a monogamous commitment, a non-monogamous commitment, an open relationship per se. In that then evolves into a marriage or a lifelong partnership if they so choose that. Here I go a little bit deeper into my first staging of the fulfillment of the heart value increasing through the love relationships. As you see here on the far left, first we must meet. Second, we must connect, ultra special. Third, we engage in sex or some other extreme form of intimacy. Fourth, we must be emotionally intelligent enough to unite in mind, body, and demeanor. And fifth, we must commit to each other or others, some people have multiple partners, in some mutual form of partnership. Meet, special unity, sex, connections, then commitment. Those are the stages of how we are with anyone that we have any kind of attraction, sexual attraction in particular with. On the bottom there, I put dating 2020, marriage 2020, and open relationships, just because in the evolution of relationships, you know, in the 50s and 60s, and, you know, the people, our parents or our older friends that we know from that generation, you know, all they had was dating and marriage. You know, men married women a lot of times because they felt sorry for them. The women had nothing. They were living at home and couldn't make money, and so if they liked us a little bit, they'd marry us. Things have drastically changed since then. And now women make more money. They're a lot more freer, but still not where I'd like it to be. But things have evolved in the different types of relationships that we can or cannot have. So dating, people can be committed or not. In marriage, people can be committed or not. And in open relationships in 2020, people can be committed or not. So things have gotten a little bit more complicated. Here, this couple here, they have mastered some sort of symmetry of energy, and hopefully a little further than that. And after a couple masters some sort of symmetry in mind, body, and spirit communication, they become best friends. And this is a couple that exudes a positive best friend energy. And ladies, just so you know, every man is looking for us as their best friend. Thank you for having me on, Anne. My website is drlove.com, and my email is drlove@drlove.com, and my mobile number is there. Please give me a call if you think that I have any value to your heart fulfillment at all.
Wow. Impressive presentation. Thank you, Gabi, so much for sharing this. I like your framework of 5 different stage in relationship between men and women, and maybe 2 people. Doesn't matter if they're men or men, or men and women or women. And from your perspective, like nowadays, because you also share like 1960s, 1970, always changing because society change, the power in that game, like who is making more money, who has to be like responsible for what. Now that everything is changed, so what is your observation with this current new social situation in New York, in the US, but also globally? And what is the prediction? What kind of problems and troubles women, because this is the community of female entrepreneurs, what problems they might have in building the relationship in the way they want by following their own norms, not just following the social norms? And what kind of problems you see that your clients are having, and how you are helping them to solve the problems, to actually go from the one stage to another with not like difficult moments? Because some people, they imagine sex and then actually everything's drop down, instead of be something which is actually helping people to connect even more, and then they can decide which commitment they want to take.
Right. I think that the biggest problem for anyone to go from one stage to the next and hopefully progress, if that's what they want, we have to keep in mind that some people just want to get to the sex stage and that's their goal, and they want to kill the project at that point. So the resolution, which is what you're asking for, is to edit our choices perfectly. I usually say edit our choices appropriately or accordingly. But I'm now at a stage in my life where I want to edit all my choices perfectly for me, right? What your goals or my best friend goals or my boyfriend's goals or my coworkers' goals maybe is different. So we all have to really get honest with ourselves. What is our goals? Write them down. Write down exactly what it is you want in any of your relationships, whether it's with your mother, a family member, a coworker, a friend, or your lover. Write them down. I get a little weird. I write it down. I crumble it up into a small little piece of paper and I stick it in my freezer. and I think that it will come upon me manifesting it in that realm. So, I have rituals and my little love rituals, and I teach my clients some that I think may work for them. But on a worldly level, all it is to be intentional about everything that you want, not what you don't want in a relationship, because that doesn't really help us. Even if I'm miserable in one department with somebody, I try to focus on the positive of the relationship, and often the positive or the dream or the ideal that may not even be happening yet. There's a lot of this kind of work going on with money, manifesting money,
Mm-hmm.
So when we're thinking about manifesting money, let's say I want to manifest $10 million. I don't think about 1 million, 2 million, or 3 million, or 4 million, 5, I don't think that. That's not something I write on my piece of paper, crumble it up, and put it in my freezer. I just put in $10 million in my freezer, right? And we have to start getting better about that in all our relationships. If somebody's going to the office and hates their boss or hates their coworker, put in, ideally, what doesn't your boss have that you wish they had? Oh, they were kind. They're a prick normally, but I wish they were kind. So put kind and loving coworker or boss on the paper, fold it up and put it in a freezer. No, I'm kidding. That's my ritual, but you get what I'm saying. Figure out what it is that you do want from anyone in any relationship, because all our relationships really do equal to a higher value of fulfillment in our hearts.
And Gabi, like when you are talking with the people, they might say, yeah, I know it's important to build a relationship and I have to be honest with myself, but then on the daily basis, they actually don't invest enough time and energy and money to improve their relationship. So how people actually can recognize what is the difference and what might be the difference in their lives if they work with professionals like yourself, how that can actually impact their life on a different level of relationship with people they want to build better relationship, starting from themselves and with all other people you mentioned, stakeholders. If you are company owners, with your employees, if you are working for somebody, with your boss, with your husband, with your wife, with your lover, with your friends, whatsoever. So how they can actually recognize what is the difference between I'm thinking I'm doing good, but actually they don't know how they can do much more better.
Well, most people are in that spot with at least one person in their life. You know, I hate to say it, it's the human disease or something. I'm not happy about it. I have it in my own. But most people have that desire for something better in a relationship with somebody in their life. It's very, everyone I work with is a complete, unique individual. So yes, I've studied marriage and family counseling in a Master's of Arts program. You know, it teaches you a lot. But I can't use the same therapy with everyone. I look at everyone as a complete individual. So
yeah, that's but my point is how we can recognize that we might do something much better, because like people on the surface, they say, yeah, I'm doing fine. Then maybe 90% honest, but 10% they are not honest. So how they can recognize what is the difference in the quality of life if they start to consider relationship much more on the deeper level, actually to get the source of course, it's every person have different problems, but fundamentally what people can do to understand there is something to improve.
Sure. I think what you're saying is if somebody really has the consciousness to want to improve a particular relationship, where should they start? It starts with self-honesty, and admitting that to themselves. And then for some people, talking to friends helps them once they admit it to themselves, or talking to family. I always suggest, and it could be because, of course, I help people on a professional level, I always suggest don't talk to friends and family. It seems to me to only make things worse. I love my women friends and my women clients, but they all go to brunch every Sunday and just badmouth the guys they're dating. They go home feeling worse about the guy themselves, and then they talk to a family member, and of course our family loves us and wants to protect us. So our family says, dump him, get rid of him, he's crap, or she's weird, you can have better. And it doesn't give a solution to the distress, because like I said in the presentation, if we chose somebody to begin with, that's usually a relationship to try to keep at a positive level, because otherwise we're kind of ignorant, and that's a whole other problem to solve because we chose them to begin with. So if we chose them, they let us down, which everyone always does in love and coworker and friends and family, then we must, to answer your question, is form a plan. Form a strategic plan and team, or if you're going to do it yourself, but form the plan to how you're going to get that dissonance between you and your friend, family, coworker, or lover to a higher level. For some people, they need a team. Some people don't progress in their relationships the way they want to without support from a team. Some people can do it better by themselves, but we all sometimes need to do more things by ourselves and sometimes more with a team. So that's why each situation is different. I always suggest, first, you have to admit. If you're not admitting to yourself, then you can't get anywhere anyway. Then figure out what's the best plan for you. Do I need to figure this out myself and then approach my lover or my husband with a specific plan that I hope will work? Or do I need to talk to a therapist or a love counselor or a friend or a family member so they can help me, guide me, support me through talking to my husband or wife or lover to get this to a better place? You have to really strategically think that way. If you can't figure it out, then I say call a professional to help you.
And in the case that we realize that we want a professional to help us, can you share how that transformation might works? Maybe, of course, this is like we have to keep confidentially names of your clients, but just to give people idea how that might work in their case. So if they see, okay, I'm struggling, I don't want to share my things, my plan with people who are surrounding me. I want to talk with somebody who maybe is not emotional connected with me, so I can be even more honest. So how that works, how like your session works, is that live one-on-one coaching, online, offline? How long is it going to take to get people to the stage that they feel more confident and they have a better relationship? And then ideally, as you're sharing on your slides, they are friends with everyone who are surrounding them and they feel confident. How that works and what, like, because many people, they never use professional. So can you share a little bit more about that experience and transformation they can get working with you or with professional they choose to work with?
Sure. Friends and coworkers and family can work very well in helping all of us individuals in our love lives if we're having dissonance. Or it doesn't have to be dissonance. It could be, for example, I live with my boyfriend, but I could be frustrated internally if I wanted marriage. Since I'm not married right this second with him, or if I wanted children and I haven't figured out how to have that discussion with him quite yet. Or let's say I was just dumped by a guy that I really liked and my heart is hurting and suffering, and I don't know what to do. That's why the first thing to do is to acknowledge there's a dissonance in yourself, a hurt or a discontent, and figure out a plan. Am I going to fix this myself, or do I need to bring in others, whether it's a mentor, a family friend, to help me figure it out? That's first. This is the evolution of the mind in relationships of 2020. That's the second. You have to, and we could do another PowerPoint. On exactly that. When there is some sort of question or dissonance in any relationship that you're having, I can explain that better actually through a PowerPoint versus just meeting and getting to the marriage or the commitment stage steps. Because having a dissonance there's its own steps in that. My work in particular is I get people when they realize, hey, I'm not keeping the partner I want. I'm not getting to marriage. Or when I work with married people, it's I hate my husband more than not, and I don't know what to do. The men come to me for I keep trying different things, and I can't make my wife happy. What do I do? In the dating realm, I help men figure out if a man's really hot and successful and admired by everyone. They can get any woman that they want, and they need my help in order to see which women aren't using me. I get hired a lot for that, to help men distinguish what woman's not full of shit, and just being perfect for me because she's wants a marriage or kids or a good life out of me. And most amazing men these days, they really want love, ladies. There's a whole nother slew of men that really want you to like them for the money that they have. Everyone is very different. And so what I help people figure out is exactly what's really going on. And then I think about a plan and a strategy for them to fix it. And sometimes that means communicating. I will tell them exactly what to say. I write it in 1 to 2 paragraphs, exactly what to say to their lover or to their husband or wife. And we start seeing things turn around. I know, because every time I work in that realm and I tell people exactly where to work for say, everybody's very uncomfortable because it's not our normal pattern, right? We haven't been saying the things. And we always see results. And that's probably from all my psychology background. I can figure out people very quickly. My passion in my grad work is personality typology, the Carl Jung, the 16 personality Myers-Briggs. I've been studying that in-depthly for over 20 years.
Gabi, thank you so much, and for being part of our community, for sharing briefly what kind of relationship people can build in 2020. And this is just the first of the, I believe, of our collaboration. And I'm happy that people in our group will be able to get in touch with you, especially if they need help in building the healthy relationship doesn't matter where they are on the framework, which step they are. And the most important thing, they are happy with the step they have and with themselves. Thank you so much. And for all of you guys who watch this interview live or in recorded version, be free to reach out to Gabi. She is in our group now moving forward. And we will consider maybe to create new live streaming based on your needs. So if you have any comments, any suggestion, what topic you would like to talk about, we are happy to do something for you to share. So then you can improve your relationship. If you have any feedback, please be free to do so. If you like what we do, click on the YouTube channel, share with the people who you think might have benefits from. And I'm very grateful to have you, Gabi, in our community and collaborate moving forward with you.
Thank you so much, Ed. You are always a pleasure to be around.